Hello there, Bic Benedict here. We're playing God of War Ascension on Titan difficulty, and this is my no upgrade run plus. We're currently on chapter 28 of 30. It is entitled Trial of Archimedes. So I decided not to do the perpetual grab spamming fest on the Sirens, so that's why the video is shorter. So on this section, if you want to do the grab spamming, which is perfectly viable, safe, it's not that hard to do, just emulate the strategy that I did on the Lantern of Talos chapter, or what I did when we fought the two Sirens in an earlier video. All you have to do is ignite a charge in one of them or throw a weapon at them. I would not throw a weapon at them though. I would ignite a charge so you don't lose your shield, and then use the stun that you get from that Siren to grab that one, and then the other ones will get stunned, including the Gorgons, and you just go back and forth until everything's dead basically. So it's a shitty checkpoint. It's a difficult part. It's even harder when you're doing a run like this, or a pain run, or a pain plus run, which I've never done. But the idea here, how am I going to face the Sirens? Ringing them out works pretty good. So I start off with the O Stone, and two Gorgons at once is pretty difficult. You're always on the move. I was doing this so long that I had developed a blister on my left index finger. Still have it actually. So that can give you an idea how long this took me. So let's talk about how to do this. The Sirens spawn after you kill the second Gorgon. So there's 4 Sirens and 4 Gorgons. So it is, definitely overkill. You cannot ring the Gorgons out. You can ring the Sirens out. So when the battle starts, you're going to get a cast fail. So just ignore that, and then cast it properly. You don't want to cast the O Stone more than 2 times, because that's going to put too much damage on these Gorgons, specifically because you can't control where the clone goes. And it really irritates me that a lot of the clone's attacks, like when you first cast it, he just kicks nothing, even though there's plenty of enemies for him to actually hit. But you want to speed this up by using the Captain Planet glitch. And just be careful about rolling from side to side, because their tail hits very in a large arc. So it's your choice. If you want to do the quick time events on these, you can. The great thing about the quick time events is that while you're doing this, I think it's about 20 seconds worth of animations here, the clone is regenerating in the background. So it can be a time for you to just play it safe and not have to worry about anything. But when I come out of this, you'll always see me cast the amulet, because it's disorienting coming out of that. But now with one Gorgon killed, I'm going to focus on the one that just spawned and ignore the one that is remaining from the first 2 spawns, because the one that started with the other one that we just killed, that has potentially damage from 2 sessions of the clone on it. So you need to always look and make sure that you're not doing the wrong Gorgon. You need to do the right one that just spawned, because we want to take her down to the red halo and then focus on the other one. That was lucky. And did you notice the whole time I was doing that, I was provoking taunts from them? If you stay on the edges here, like the edges of this circular area, extending to the left and right, you can provoke taunts from the Gorgons. I don't know if the Sirens have taunts. I'll have to look at them. But HP is so precious here, it's not even funny. But if you do, I was always able to keep an eye on the Gorgon that just spawned. If it ever got off screen, I would put it on screen quickly. But it's just not worth it here to use the clone again, because you could put the other other one to red halo too quickly. So you definitely want to avoid doing that. You can deal a little bit of damage if you know you haven't dealt it too much damage, but that's one of the problems about this trial, is that not only is the checkpoint shitty, it's essentially it's loading time, but it takes quite a while for this to work. Most people like to do this where they get too well, I shouldn't say most people, but I've seen a lot of people like to do distributive damage to the Gorgons. Now I've got one at red halo. Now I need to completely ignore that one and focus on the other one. You can do you can get grabbed by the one with the red halo, and if she grabs you too many times, the actions of getting out of it, where he hits her, can deal her enough damage so that she dies, and you don't want that. You want to be completely ready for the Sirens. So I really can't tell you how important it is to keep your HP high for the Sirens. So anytime that you can isolate one of them so that the other one's taunting perpetually, mostly off screen or what have you, it's a perfect opportunity to just stand and block here like this and do square triangle, and to completely see the one with the red halo. It's just taunting over there. I don't want to hit her anyway. This is the one that I want to take to the red halo without killing the other one. So it's important for me to, as boring as this looks, just stand here, keep guarding, and prompt this attack from her, which I can counter with square triangle. Okay, so now I'm going to kill this one. You have to remember, the minute that this stops, the Sirens are going to spawn. So if you want to ignore the red halo and just kill it normally, you can, but I'm going to do this. I'm going to cast the amulet, then the clone rapidly, and then go up here. And if you go up to where I was, they like to spawn up there, so you can hit them off. But that was one way of ringing them out. This is another, using the magic, can bounce them out. Now we've got just one Gorgon and one Siren. Should you have more than one Gorgon over here, you can use the clone, and it shouldn't be too much of a problem for you to eliminate one of the Gorgons, because it should almost be dead. But right now you need to make sure that you stay at the edges of this circle so that you provoke taunts from the Gorgon. The Sirens like to come over to you anyway. They don't give a shit. But you know from fighting them that they do this lightning bolt spam, which is 3 in number, and if you get too close to them, they do the Siren shout. So the clone can't regenerate fast enough over here for you. Trust me, when you're doing this, you want it recharge so fast, but you have to wait. And you need to wait for a time where, when you cast it, you're not going to get damaged too heavily because of the recovery time. But 2 uses of the clone should put the Siren to red. And that just tells you how much HP they have. 2 uses, like I said, of the clone. So it looks like we've only used, I think, the one time. But this is not so chaotic when it's just a couple of enemies, so you want to try to ring those Sirens out as much as you possibly can. Here we go. The clone recharged. It's going to kill the Siren. It's probably going to kill the Gorgon too. Well, we killed it. So this is on updated software, so I will be receiving health back. Now, I don't know how long that took, but however long it takes for a blister to appear on your hand, that's how long it took. Probably 6, 7 hours, maybe 8. It's hard. It's really difficult. Mind you, under those restrictions, with upgraded weapons and all the other tools that you get at your disposal, it's not too bad actually. But since it took me that long, you know, after what, 8 hours, and I did it here, I'm gonna be playing it extremely careful. And you saw me be really careful right there, because I cast the clone the second I got control of Kratos, not when I saw the enemies. I was so eager to start using it for the Amazonians over here. And these enemies are just, they're bitches. They're bastards and bitches, pretty much. I tried to separate the spawns of these Harpies and the Amazonians, but I don't think I did a very good job at it. The only things that the Harpy ever does, besides giving the other ones a ride, is it will throw 2 red darts at you every now and then, and they can just be blocked. But I don't like fighting this enemy. The only time you can launch it is when it taunts, so you've got to be really careful about that. But what I'm doing now is I'm being extremely safe. I'm going to be rather safe than sorry, because I know that it took me an extremely long time. Well, in truth, I did beat it like in 3 hours in, using the methods that I showed you. Oh fuck! I missed the QuickTime event. I did beat it originally 3 hours in, but I just, you know, I mean, I wasn't happy. I didn't like it. And there's going to be a hit that I take on the Wraith coming up that deals half of my damage off, and it looks so sloppy, but it's all a big testimonial to the fact that whenever you get to wave 2 and 3, and you're so desperate to win, it's just a testament to how careful you have to be, because there's no checkpoint to fall back on, and wave 1 is so difficult. So I'm gonna stay back here and just cast the clone, let him do some good stuff. Be extremely careful with this enemy. And then you've also got to be really careful about the fire that you can get damaged by after you fight a couple more enemies, because after you deal with this one, you've got a couple more Harpies, and then the lightning Talos will spawn. Okay, so really all I would do on the Amazonians, see there, you got to be really careful, because you think you're all well and good. After you do the QuickTime event, they roll, they recover, and you could be on your way to hitting and on your way to recovering, and you'll get hit. Anyway, yeah, a lightning Talos, and be very careful about the fire. I wouldn't combat roll if I were you. I would just run it. I would just move at the normal pace. But there should be 3 Harpies that spawn over here. My position over here dictated that the lightning Talos was going to spawn at the bottom. Harpies can be wrung out very easily. The Amazonians I don't think can be wrung out. But you have to at all times be... Oh, he spawned up there. So stun him, cast the clone, and then since we're since we're up here so high, I can't tell where the fire is at down there. So you've got to be really careful. And when he does his magic attack, remember that your normal hits can't damage him, so you're going to have to use elemental attacks from a full rage meter. So what I would do is the Hades plume. Square triangle, and have that arm hit him. See that? I was really lucky right there, because the fire can damage you a whole bunch. Okay, so he's not quite dead. I'm gonna. You should stun him before you walk past him, out of good form. But you could also get really unlucky if the fire is around you when you're doing the QuickTime event with this guy. So think about maybe not doing the QuickTime event as well, because of the fire lingers a couple seconds after he dies. Now he's just standing there taunting. I can finish him off with the clone. Now, wave 3, it's 1 Centaur, and then after that, it's 3 Wraiths. 2 at a time until you kill 2. But damn, they put you in a small little claustrophobic room, as if that wasn't claustrophobic enough. But the Centaur, he can do unblockable moves that can take off a lot of damage from you. So I remembered that a little bit too late over here, but I didn't get damaged. So you will see me do a little melee combat with him at the beginning, but then I remembered what he does, and I was quick to definitely stay away from him and just reverse his attacks, parry him, and press the the quick time buttons appropriately. The Wraiths don't summon phantoms. However, this room, you see the spikes? The spikes can damage you pretty much, but you're going to see me get hit and have half of my life taken off from not paying attention enough with the Wraith. So you've got to be extraordinarily careful, especially if you're casting the clone. The clone has a ton of recovery time. You really need to make sure of what you're doing over here. And it was on one of their normal attacks. So when they spawn in, did you see how he was doing a summon right there? Well, that's not a summon for these. They've altered it so that he doesn't spawn phantoms. The room size and all. But you really need to be careful about when you're cloning over here. And let's examine exactly when I got hit. Yeah, I was casting. It was that was just me not paying attention. So, see how much of a price I paid after all that time too. Plus those great setups I got with the Sirens. It could have all been taken away from me. It's so nerve-wracking. It really is. And then when you think it's all done, there's one more. So I wouldn't even do this. I wouldn't even do any plumes over here. I would stun them and use the clone, grab them out of the ground, and just be satisfied with that. I don't see that my getting hit there. I don't see that as anything other than me being just not paying attention and things like that. But I don't like the environments that you fight these enemies in. Starting with wave 2, why are you put in a narrowest path, and then on here, it's a small area too. I don't like the environments. But there you have it. The trial of Archimedes. If you're having too much of a problem with that, I only did the ringing out of the Wraiths, of the Sirens, because I've already done the grab spamming enough, and I wanted to have something different. But it's better off if you just grab spam them. And again, I refer you to, is it the previous? No, it's not the previous video. It's 2 videos back. Chapter 26, when I was dealing with the Sirens. Just do exactly that. And the main problem too is that you're spending so much time just to get the Gorgons the way you want them, and then the Sirens come in with all of their bullshit, and you can get killed so quickly. If they just didn't spam that attack, I think it would be so much better. They shouldn't, if they're off of the screen, they shouldn't be able to cast, and when they are on the screen, they aren't allowed to spam. Isn't that fair? I mean, so chapter 28. Chapter 29 is the Fury Citadel. It's only a 2-minute video. It will be done no damage. I haven't finished the entire game, but I'm aiming for no damaging chapter 32. Chapter 30, comma 2. Okay, so that's everything all wrapped up for you. I hope that it helped you out. But a lot of what happens when the Sirens spawn is not up to you. But wherever you're standing when they spawn, it makes a big difference of where they spawn. So you can get a couple of nice, sweet ring outs on those enemies. And remember, as I've said before, ringing enemies out is the highest form of gameplay. And it might not be the highest form when you're on an easy fight and you're just throwing enemies around. But on a fight like that, it's all about the player's skill and his perseverance. Please take care, and I will see you in the next video.